Mr. Oakley, would you care to comment on the Carl Gravenhorst case?
Well,
As you know, the DA's office has been accused of misconduct in the Gravenhorst case. Would you comment on the latest development?
Look at what they're doing.
People are
Hilarious.
saying you're prosecuting an innocent man. Does the DA's office have something to hide?
well, what,
Excuse me, please let me through. That's my client you're talking about. The Albuquerque DA's office is perpetrating an outrageous miscarriage of justice.
You're who?
I'm Saul Goodman, and we are countersuing you and the entire Albuquerque DA's
said,
office for
yeah,
malicious
what?
persecution, unlawful detention, and abusive process. Go, if you must, but know this, we will meet again.
Do you have a card? Not for me, for a friend.
Yes, and please tell your friend that I make no judgments and I'm available 24 hours a day.
5 months. With overcrowding, you'll probably do less than 2. Considering your prior sentencing guidelines would have you looking at 2 to 4 years in custody. So, 5 months is really good, Bobby. Are you worried about being there when Lois delivers?
Delivers. Oh, right. Yeah. So if I go to trial, you'll be my lawyer, right?
Bobby, you do not want to go to trial.
But you'll be my lawyer.
Yes, but going to trial would be a mistake. Odds are you would end up going away for more time, not less. And I'm talking about years of your life.
Does he go to Saul?
But I might not, right?
He's not taking the deal.
Who, that guy? Isn't he the punk who tried to sell a flat bed of hot mini fridges to an undercover cop? What'd you get him?
5 months.
5 months with his priors? Well, he should be on his knees thanking you.
I'm trying to talk him out of going to trial.
I'm from the DA's office, okay? I'm giving you what for. You're giving me what for. We'll be loud. We will go over there. We will make a scene, okay? New evidence has come to light, and I'm pulling his deal with extreme prejudice. I'm pissed.
This is interesting because they're trying to help a client and they're trying their best to help him. They're not doing anything that's technically trying to adjust the law. Let's use that type of wording. They're not trying to work the law or anything like that, but this still is an ethical issue, right? Like, it's interesting for them to do it that way. Like, they're showing them doing some ethically sketchy shit, but for the good, which has always been. But I feel like this is one of the most clear-cut cases of that.
I'm gonna put him away permanently. If this isn't using our powers for good, I don't know what is. But Kim, we can do it. It'll work.
I am not scamming my
But
clients.
it worked for Mesa Verde.
Jimmy, back off.
Keep bringing up Mesa Verde.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see you at home.
Is everything all right?
He's from the district attorney's office.
Oh, shit.
They're taking the deal off the table.
So what? I mean, we weren't gonna take it anyway, so.
Miss Wexler, why are they taking it off the table?
I don't know for sure. It's possible they have new evidence.
Like cameras or witnesses or.
I really couldn't say. We'll find out soon enough. Bobby, I'm sorry. It looks like they want to make an example out of you. All right, well, we better go tell the judge that we're taking this to trial.
Yeah. You know what? Are you sure we still can't get the 5 months?
The DA took that off the table.
You mean even if you ask real nice?
I could try. Are you sure that's what you want?
Yeah. I thought about it, just like you said, and I could do the 5 months.
Miss Wexler, please.
Wait here. I can't promise anything, but I'll look into it.
Sure. You do that. We'll be right here.
Damn, yo. Let's see. So let's start with the beginning, the opening. So the last time we saw that beginning cold open, he was in that cab, and inside that cab, he saw some Albuquerque shit in there, from what I can recall. And so he was shook. He got out. He's like, oh, what the fuck? So my man was ready to bounce. Jimmy is listening to the scanner, hears nothing. Then he's at the mall, and then the dude from the cab place does recognize this motherfucker. But he said it on like some villainous shit. He was being a fucking weirdo, as if he like was threatening him. I'm like, what kind of weirdo fuck you think you are? So later at the end, when Jimmy is speaking to our vacuum repair salesman, the vacuum repairman, which, you know, we fuck with, because he got the same spiel. Hey, it's going to be harder than last time, pause, and it's going to be more expensive than last time. And he's like, you know what? I'll handle it myself. I want to see how he's going to handle that. And what I like about this is it's all going to come together. Y'all told me, I believe, next season is the last season. So that part is all going to come together. As I said, I was like, I guess he's out of this Nebraska. I thought the Nebraska thing was going to happen. I guess he's out of here. Nah, he's still staying, right? And he not playing that shit. He's like, hey, I'm going to handle this. So we're going to see that. Okay. Reform. That's the word I would use with Kim. She feels deep down she can reform this motherfucker Jimmy. And not even just that she can. She believes he can be reformed. She feels he's redeemable. So when he did what he did, imagine the heights at that last episode of last season. The heights after he comes out and he's like, yeah, I killed it. The heights. She's thinking, yo, he did it the right way. I'm glad. And then also the thing with his brother. Oh, man. And then Saul arrives. Imagine the lows that she drops to. She's up here like, yes, I can't believe. And then he's like, hey, yeah, I'm changing my name to Saul Goodman. I played those motherfuckers like a fiddle. I gave them everything they wanted to hear, right? So imagine how that played with her. Cut to all the way at the end. What I find to be interesting about that is it's one thing with Mesa Verde if you're doing some sketchy shit, because that affects you and your whole situation and everything you got going on. And it's one thing if every once in a while she wants to blow off some steam and go do a little hustle with Jimmy. It's a different thing when she's using it positively, because then it becomes a bigger issue. Now it almost seems like she has a dependency on it. It's one thing if it's like last resort. Oh, Mesa Verde. It's another thing if it's this thing over here that was my own. That was her own. Remember, she set up this whole thing with Schweikert where she can take time off and do her pro bono shit. So she's utilizing it for something positive. That's even worse. Goes back to the seat, has that look on her face, thinks about it, chooses to do it. Then after it all takes place, she's in the hallway and she's beating herself up. She's like, what the fuck? Like, she couldn't believe she did that. And we've all been there in some way or another, different stakes. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things where as I keep saying with this show, it's a very adult show. She keeps going on to it and she's relying on it when she looks down on it. Imagine how that feels. It's something she looks down on. It's something she knows is wrong. She's doing it. That's what I mean about this. Like, this is how humans are. There's a problem sometimes with writers where they attempt to do this, where they'll have characters be hypocrites and shit, and it doesn't play well. And you'll oftentimes see people turn on the show because they go, what? That character would never do that. What they did with this show is they kept showing you that deep down she's willing to do this. Doesn't matter how she feels about it. She's willing to utilize it. Doesn't matter what she says about Jimmy and how he acts. She's willing to do it herself. Do I think that makes her a bad person? No. Do I think that makes her bad as Jimmy? Well, right? And I've been trying to figure out, do I think that he's influencing her or not? Because she's the one making the decision. But I will say this. If he's not there, if he doesn't ever insinuate or bring up, hey, this can be done a certain way, I don't think she even has the thought. I will say this, at the very least, in order for her to stop doing that, at the very least, I'm not blaming him for her choices, but at the very least, she got to separate herself from him in order to go on the path of righteousness, as they would say. Now, once again, they're adults. She made a choice, but also, I can't think of a different word for this, but I don't want to say he's influencing her because she's an adult, but it's looking like there's an influence there. He's not enabling her. She's choosing this. He's not setting up things nah. She just told this. That's some dope writing because she just told this motherfucker, nah, this is some bullshit. And then she does it and uses the same game that he put her on. And then she goes outside and immediately beats herself up about it. And she does it for the good, which makes it, in this case, even worse. Because I had to go back and look, because as I'm sitting here, I'm preparing to say this, I had to go back and watch, because I'm like, yo, was this still part of the plan? And it's like, no. When he says what he says, you can see her shake her head like, nah. And he's like, all right, I'll go and meet you at home. And then you see her sitting there pondering while that dude with that big ass, old ass Game Boy is talking to her. Man, hey, that's crazy. Hold on, here goes some other dope shit. Didn't expect to see a split between Gus and Mike. The motherfucker Lalo, first off, Gus always got a plan. Always. I'm trying to figure out, hey, what's going on with what they selling, right? Is somebody stepping on it some more and pocketing some money? And even to the time where he asked him about the money, I'm thinking he's referring to that. No, he was referring to the money got to be separate from the drugs. Otherwise, you know what I mean? So motherfuckers all in there. He's like, so why you up here? Right? So, nah. He's trying to figure out, oh shit, these motherfuckers are giving it to us like that? Because he asked, he gave Nacho the whole rundown. And Nacho told him, so Gus came with a full story, a full plan. Okay. They had to clean up. Things have to halt right now. So they send all the Germans away. And they do something that was needed. And I'll tell you why it's needed and why it's dope. All right. So they show Mike. He's telling everybody where to go, what they're going to do. He explains to them. That one guy, Kai, comes up. Hey, he was soft. It had to be done. He blicks him. All right. The motherfucker is on the ground. And you look at Mike's face. You can't talk about that man. That was a good man. He just got himself caught up in a situation. He got dealt with how he got dealt with. Then the other guy walks up to him. And I believe he says something like 50 of you wouldn't amount to him or some shit like that. And Mike really felt that and really like, yeah, there's truth to that. Mike didn't want to do that. But that's the job he's in the life he chose. Now, they had to show us those moments happening. Why? Gus, when it's time for him to tell a story, he will tell a story. When it's time for him to weave a tale, he weave a tale. Mike, we've only seen him talk a bunch. One time, and the other times if he's talking a lot, is to give commandments. He's giving commands. Okay. The conversation that they had was short and sweet. Gus says everything he says, and and we compensated her. That motherfucker said compensation. Now, mind you, this is after he's telling Mike, yo, I'm keeping you on as a retainer. He's like, to do nothing? He's like, to retain you. So that motherfucker says he's compensating what's his name? Ziegler's wife. All right. Mike goes, compensation. One word. But it's look, it's action, it's aura, it's energy. And then Gus, choose your words wisely. And then Mike responds basically, keep that retainer shit. And he's out. They had a full argument right in front of us in the way that they would have an argument. It's not one at all. Short and sweet. But we understand how each one feels about the situation. We already know, it's all business all the time for Gus. They said that earlier. They made sure to say that in the show when Don Juan is talking to Lalo. He's like, that man's all business all the time, man. So we already know his part of the conversation. Compensation, that's a business write-off. Then Mike, we saw how he feels. We know how he feels. We saw in that episode how he was with the dude when he took him out. And so nothing needed to be said in that situation. So when they split, it was like, I wasn't expecting that. But when they split, I understood that. It wasn't surprising. Dope show. Dope first episode. Crazy. Let's get to Saul real quick. Him doing what he's doing with the cell phones, a dope plan. And then 50% off for a non-violent felony. You see the first dude, he got a tie. I need that. Funny as fuck. I fuck with this. Yeah, y'all already know, like, this is the way they're doing this. I like it. It's an adult show that shows how human beings who at a certain level sort of deal with things, right? This show, the funniest thing about it is most people cannot relate to Breaking Bad. like, right? That's why it's so interesting, because you're trying to piece things together. This show, motherfuckers can relate to this. Right? Like, people act like they can relate to Breaking Bad, like, I would have, and this is no, you wouldn't have. No, you don't know what you would have done until you got that situation. In this one, to sit there and witness Kim, somebody be hypocritical in seconds, it's like, oh yeah, that's just straight up human shit, right? Like adult shit. Hey, yeah. Next episode.